Before we get started with this other suggestion by Asma Sadaf, I sound a bit depressed. I'm gonna get into that right now. Unfortunately, Wednesday morning this week, my grandfather on my father's side passed away. I was named after him, and he's a big part of why I got into gaming to begin with. It was because of him I got introduced to the Super Nintendo along with Mario World, which just so happens to be my favorite game ever, pretty much. Even played it now and then with my cousins, such as the one who unfortunately passed away a few months back. But anyway, on a less depressing note, I just needed a few days to, grieve, get my head straight. I'll be going back to work this next week. Thankfully, they let me take my 3 vacation days I accumulated off for the rest of this week. So I went ahead and took those. I'll still be getting paid for that time off, which is nice. This virus is a big problem, and all I can really say is stay inside and stay safe. Hopefully soon the virus will just kind of go away, and it might not go away entirely, and thankfully that's what we have the healthcare professionals for. That's enough dawdling for right now, though. Let's just get into the suggestion by Asma Sadaf here. So, very powerful deck here. A lot of speed, a lot of power. It's got decent coverage pretty much all throughout, other than 3 figures sharing the upper right, which I'm personally not that a fan of, but it's not that big a deal. And the only option for the upper middle of the deck is Champa, but I went ahead and went with what he recommended. Give everyone at least ADM up A and speed up A. And the focus for Videl is not really to hit as hard as the rest of the deck. She's just there for utility and extra speed and whatnot. But he recommended having all dupes put into speed, which thankfully I just so happen to have. And he's recommended the attack variant of the Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta that EX Limit breaks into the new Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta figure. So I've gone ahead, made a couple of those, and duped them both in speed. And then he'd also recommended that I use Attack Champa and Attack Vegito, dupe them both all into attack, which I've gone ahead and done. Everyone else, not counting Videl, everyone has attack up A, ADM up A, and speed up A. So the idea behind this deck is to just leave nothing but a trail of damage in its wake and deny the enemy a chance to retaliate, which I'm kind of a fan of. This is, again, a very strong deck. The only thing it's really lacking on, in my opinion, is not just a little bit more coverage, but obviously defense and HP. It's more of a harder hitting deck. And wow, all of them are red except Videl. Interesting. You know what? I think I want to hit them stupid hard, so I'm gonna go ahead and put Videl off. Put both Gogetas out. Let's see how much damage we do here. Because including Champa and both Gogeta figures being out, that's a total of 60% boosted to damage. So that right there, they're already hitting ridiculously hard now. Wow. Yeah, very strong deck suggestion. They do so much freaking damage. This is actually kind of similar to the setup that I used to, like, grind Violet level 99 in Hero Colosseum. I would, do the battle with Blue Evolved, and I had 2 Champas and, 2 Gogetas. It was a different variant of the EX Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I want to say it was one of the Goku ones. But I had 2 Champas, 2 Gogetas, and I think I had Trunks, if I recall correctly. One other thing I will say that's kind of dangerous about the deck is there's not really a whole lot of protection for the Master. That shouldn't really matter too much, though. Given, I mean, just look at the deck. It's going to cleave through just about anything. And outspeed just about anything. Even with the debuff from Super Saiyan 4 Goku, they're still doing over 12k. It's obnoxious. And we'll skip that. And we're on turn 3, and that's where Videl comes in. Okay, I thought she would have... Let me read this, actually. At the end of turn 3, that's why. Okay, I thought it was at the start. My bad. Yeah, that's fine, though, because I'm still gonna outspeed. And they're both dead anyway this turn, so it doesn't really matter. Very good deck, though. I would actually recommend using this one also to, like, grind out EXP quick against Blue Evolved Vegeta. And it's cool that I got a recommendation on this deck from Asma, because I was actually waiting for someone to do that. Recommending a couple of EX decks with 10 dupes into one, you know, suggestion, because you're not really going to be able to see that anywhere much else unless someone had the luck to get 10 of the Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta and then EX Limit break them. After it's been fully duped, of course, and then you still gotta level at 1099 and get Gogeta chips and all that. It's just a huge hassle if you don't have a couple of the tools needed in order to, like, just bypass that entirely. Thanks to, of course, Unleashed. And as you can see, my entire collection in my figures list is completely filled. I went ahead and filled it up just out of pure boredom. I didn't really have anything else to do. It was just to help me try to get my mind off my grandfather while I was grieving. It helped a bit, but not a whole lot. Anyway, I don't mean to be so much of a downer. It just really sucks. Like, he was a really huge part of my childhood. And it was really sad to hear that he unfortunately got a heart attack and we had to see him go. We'll do one more fight against Blue Evolved Vegeta, though. I'm curious to see if this will easily wipe him out in just 2 turns. I don't see why not. I hope that everyone out there is staying as safe as they can, just staying indoors, passing the time with, like Mug said. I just watched his latest vid recently. And do whatever you need to do to pass the time, like play some board games, play some video games, just try to chill out and relax. You know, hopefully this virus will subside. It really sucks too, because just for the heck of it, I tried driving down to Olive Garden today just to try to get a drink or two at the bar there, and they weren't letting anybody in at all. It's like that pretty much at every restaurant in Illinois right now. Like our governor pretty much put us on house lockdown. I mean, we could still go out and do shopping and all. I think I may have already covered that briefly. But yeah, we could still go out and do shopping. Certain people are still allowed to go to work. They just need to wear gloves and masks and all that. Like, I even went to pick up my refill at the pharmacy and everyone was wearing gloves and masks there. So it's just a very different world we're all living in right now, and it's a little bit difficult to adjust to. But it doesn't really feel like you have a whole lot of freedom to do anything, let alone leave your house for very long. So, you know, hopefully everyone takes the necessary measures to just stay safe, stay healthy, and the virus will hopefully go away at that point. Ridiculous how hard they hit. Very decent overall deck. Few ways I would personally change it is a bit more coverage throughout more of the board. I would maybe put in an O1 figure because that's how I like to run my decks, just to be safe, because it's such a huge thing, and it has saved me quite a number of times. Even versing AI, it's really helped me, you know, pull that loss out of the fire, and I was able to turn around and get that one just fine. So I personally like to use O1 figures, and I don't abuse them. I have to like set them up as best I can, and that's generally how I go about using O1 figures. I know not a whole lot of people really like the idea of O1 figures, but you kind of need to, especially if you're doing ranked, because they can make the difference as to whether or not you win or lose that important ranked fight you're trying to get past, and it really helps to climb up through the ranks as well. I want to show off one other dupe I did though, and like this one that I did recently. I'll get him duped. I want to say I put 2 in attack, 2 in speed, and then I put 6 in HP. This to me personally is a very, very good, well-rounded figure, so that's probably one of my more favorable dupe spreads I've done. The only thing he's really lacking in, of course, is defense, which is another reason why I also really like, let's see, where's it at? Was it 19 or 20? Yeah, that's another reason why I really like this figure also, because he's already good on speed, but even then you could still keep adding to his speed and defense. Like, in my opinion, this is probably, in general, one of the best figures in the entire game. Like, his stats are just so good and so well-rounded, to the point where his defense, like, easily fixes itself, and he has a spot where you can go behind Vados, which is even better. Same thing with Blue Evolved Vegeta, which is my personal favorite figure. But anyway, that's pretty much gonna do it for that. I hope you all enjoyed. Stay indoors, stay safe, and I might be taking a break for a bit from recording. But if anything, I will keep you guys updated, and I hope you all have a good day. I will see you all later. Peace.